If you have a nonprofit website where you want someone to make a donation or sign up to receive email updates or contact a legislator, if you need your website to actually get people inspired enough to do this action, then this is the training for you. We are going to get inspiration and ideas from other nonprofits. We're going to see how they are accomplishing these same tasks via their awesome calls to action, and I'm going to show you how you can use the same strategies on your site. My name is Yesenia Sotelo. I'm a web developer and digital skills trainer. I work with nonprofits to build awesome websites and then get them equipped to make those websites even better once they are launched. Today you're going to learn the 3 key components to an awesome website call to action. I'm going to explain to you why each component will help improve your call to action on your site, and I'm going to show you how real nonprofits get this done on their sites. So what makes an awesome call to action? I'm going to break this training up into 3 parts. We're going to start with awesome content. When I say content, I include copy, because when we talk about content, a lot of us think about copy, and we want copy that moves, copy that's inspiring, copy that drives us to action. I'm also talking about images. So many of us are inspired and moved by the images that we see on websites and elsewhere. And I have a few examples to show you how you could do this on your own site. And the examples that I've chosen come from both smaller and larger nonprofits. So even if you're thinking to yourself, oh, we can't possibly do that at my organization. Yes, you can. You definitely can. And here's a few examples that'll show you how. This first example comes from Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And the reason I pulled this example into the training was because I really like their copy. Now, there are email sign-up forms on every single nonprofit website out there, and I scoured dozens and dozens and dozens of sites to pull together the ones that are in this training. And the majority of the email sign-ups up there are terrible. They're lacking either inspiration in the copy or a reason why I should sign up. They're just so plain. Mothers Against Drunk Driving does a fantastic job. They ask us to take the MAD pledge, and it says, today we can see a future without drunk driving, but we need your help to get there. Please join us in the fight by pledging to support the campaign to eliminate drunk driving. Fantastic, right? I'm joining a movement. I'm joining something bigger than myself. I'm going to help make an impact on this issue that I care about. It's inspiring text. And what's beautiful about copy is that it doesn't matter how big your nonprofit is, how small your nonprofit is, how many staff you do or don't have on your communications or marketing team. Copy is a matter of just being creative, and we're all creative. This next example comes from Planned Parenthood, also from their email sign up. And their copy reads, sign up for email alerts on the latest reproductive rights fights and ways to take action. Stay on top of breaking news in the world of reproductive health and rights, and learn right away about opportunities to fight back against attacks. We will keep you updated on key policy decisions and elections on the state and federal level. Now, I like this because I can tell from the copy that Planned Parenthood knows their audience. I myself am a Planned Parenthood supporter. I used to work for the ACLU, which is kind of an organization in a very similar realm. And so our member bases are very similar. And I know that Planned Parenthood's member base, or the people that are likely to sign up for their email alerts, respond to this copy. They are the kind of people that want to be kept in touch. They're the kind of people that want to take action as quickly as possible to protect the issues they care about. So just like Planned Parenthood knows their audience, you and your organization know your audience, and you can tailor your copy to appeal to that part of your audience that connects with your organization and your issues. And then in this section, this is there are 2 more examples, but this one is from a smaller organization here in Chicago called Accion Chicago. And I really like both the copy and the image here. So the copy says, double your impact. Thanks to a challenge grant from an anonymous donor, all new or increased donations will be doubled. Now is the time to make a gift to action. 25 equals 50, 50 equals 100, 250 equals 500. So they're using the copy to explain to me that there's some urgency here. They're using the copy to explain, $25 turns into 50 automatically. They're also playing with the style by making that 50 so much bigger and brighter and happier. And that's a great image. It's a person doing the work that Accion Chicago is known for, and doing the work that is going to be funded by the donation that I make right now. There's also a little trick to when you're choosing images for calls to action. If you're choosing a person, and I highly recommend you choose a person, if you can get the person in the photo to direct their gaze towards the call to action, towards the button, that helps with conversions. I know it's a funny little trick, but once I've told you this and you start seeing it elsewhere on commercial sites, you'll see that there's often a picture of a person and their head is turned towards the button, or their eyes are looking towards the button. So if you can get to that level of image on your site, that's super awesome and advanced. And final example in this little group is PETA, so People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. Here I like the copy, I like the text. PETA is amazing for the immediacy of the marketing that they do. So unfortunately, this disaster in Louisiana happened very recently. I actually took this screenshot several days ago before I even recorded this training, and PETA already was ready and explaining to people why their support was necessary at this time. So the copy says, PETA's rescue team is rushing to help animals in flood-stricken parts of Louisiana. Support its vital work by giving an urgently needed gift to PETA's Animal Emergency Fund right now. Of course, there's an immediacy here that is unparalleled, and disasters often bring out donors. But you at your organization can have the kind of immediacy that is authentic to you. So perhaps it's winter time and you work with homeless people and there's an immediacy there. Or perhaps it's a year end and you are about to finish up the budget and you are running out of time, and there's a danger that you won't be able to fully fund your programs. There's an immediacy there. In Illinois, we've had over a year and a half now, I think, of state budget crisis. So our local social service organizations have struggled because they've not been getting the state level money that they were expecting. And so for them, there's a genuine immediacy where they could say, we're not, our budget is in the red. We are in danger of closing programs. If you can help us, please do. So whatever kind of immediacy you can bring to your copy in whatever way that's authentic to your organization is going to be effective. Moving on to the next set, 2 of 3, next set of elements that make a call to action awesome is style. And I remember I started with content, and the reason is because content is something that virtually any nonprofit can achieve. As long as you're creative with your copy and are willing to think creatively and work with your base to understand them and appeal to them, you are going to be able to get awesome content. Style can sometimes be a little more complicated for your nonprofit, depending on whether or not there's someone to help you create new graphics, whether or not you have access to changing graphics on your website. That can be more of a challenge. So I left this to the second part, but it is incredibly important. When you browse websites, you know how you react when you see great design, contrasting colors. It's important to you. It's important to all of us. So if you can work on achieving that with your nonprofit website, your calls to action are going to improve and they're going to get better results. The places to focus when we're talking about style is contrasting color, making it easy to find, and if you can throw an arrow in there, do that. Contrasting color, I mean a color that is not found anywhere else on the page. So a lot of nonprofits have these brand palettes where they have an accent color, and unfortunately I see the accent color being used too often. I recommend you be more judicious with that accent color and really focus it in the places where you need someone to do something. The donate button, the button that sends that form, the place where I have to click to go to your donate page. Any place where you need me to take an action, that's where you should use your contrasting color. Making it easy to find, and by that I mean setting the style of the call to action in such a way that it pops. A lot of my clients like to use that word pops, make it pop more. I'll show you what I mean in a second, and I'm struggling to describe it to you, but the end result is that your visitor is going to quickly be able to see, oh, that's what they want me to do. That's the result that you want. And finally, arrows, because we're all attracted to arrows that help us understand where we should go next. Arrows imply movement. They also call our attention. And using arrows in your style is going to help improve your website's call to action. So let's look at some examples. Here is Kiva. And there's an arrow here, right? Choose a category, arrow pointing me down, telling me where to start. This is also really easy to navigate. You would think that having 4, 7, 10 different options would be tricky for someone to understand, but they've structured this in such a way that it is easy to navigate. I didn't have room to show you the rest of the page, but this design choice stands out from what's going on the rest of the Kiva page. So as I'm browsing and I'm scrolling through the site, down the page rather, it says start landing, which is great copy, right? It tells me what I'm supposed to be doing. Choose a category, great, and then it points me down there, and then it gives me a really easy to pick out set of options. So this stands out against the rest of the page. The next example is from Alex's Lemonade Stand. Their call to action is here in the bottom right corner. It says, I want to help cure childhood cancer, get involved. And what's cool that you can't see in the screenshot is as I scroll up and down this page, this little bottom right-hand ribbon floats with me. And that's great because it's easy for me to find it. I know exactly where it is as I see this thing hovering in the right-hand corner no matter where I go on the page. There's also a bit of an arrow. There's both arrows in the text. There's little arrows pointing to the right, but the ribbon itself is kind of an arrow, right? Directing us, showing us where we're supposed to go. And honestly, tricky, the lemon is kind of an arrow. It's kind of slanted towards the copy and telling us where to go. So it's pretty cool. And this last example in this section is from an organization called Cancer Research UK. What I like about their design is they've used pink to help me understand what's going on. So pink says the donate text is in pink, and then the donate monthly button is in pink. There's not pink. Pink is used very sparingly on the rest of the page. It's intended to help me understand that this is an important element. And then side bonus is that this is their donation form. It's the beginning of their donation form. So they're ushering me into this process right from the get-go. I'm not on the donate page itself. I'm on a different page. This little donate widget is in the sidebar, and I'm making a choice. They're defaulting and saying, hey, you can start your monthly donation with £2 per month. Donate monthly. I could change it to £8 a month. I could change it to a custom amount. But in essence, I'm starting the donation process right now. And they're making it seem really easy, which I think is important when it comes to getting more donations. And I did a training recently about the anatomy of a perfect donate form that I will link below. That is a great explanation of why this form is so handy. But bonus, because we're talking about style here and the awesome contrasting pink color. And the third section here, the third piece that's going to make your call to action awesome is reassurance. So our donors, our supporters, they want to be part of our community. They want to do more for us by making a donation or by signing on to a pledge or signing up for email. But they need something back from us. So they need reassurance. They need reassurance that we are going to safeguard their information. They need reassurance that we are transmitting their information securely. They need reassurance that we are a legitimate organization that has a wide community of supporters. This first example is from an organization here in Chicago called JCC Chicago. In the footer of all their pages, they have this little newsletter sign up. And again, a lot of nonprofits have this, but they do something extra special. In their copy, it says, join the 21,000 community members who receive news, stories, and promotions from the J. So they're telling me they're not some upstart. They are an organization that has at least 21,000 community members and that's just people who are receiving email. Imagine how many other people attend their events or support them via donations or are simply just members of the community. This is called social proof. When we share either numbers or endorsements or some other element, third-party element that helps our website visitor understand that we're a legitimate organization that is supported by many other people and that is absolutely worthwhile their support as well. This example comes from Doctors Without Borders. It is not specifically a call to action, but I really liked what they were doing here, and I think it could easily be translated to a call to action. So this is actually in the footer of all their pages. Talk about transparent, right? I'm not on the donate page. I'm just looking at the footer of their site, and it says how your funds are used, and it's got the pie chart that all of us fundraisers are familiar with, where it highlights the percentage of the funds that are being used by programs and services, etc. They also willingly give us their EIN number. Now, I know EIN numbers are actually public knowledge, and if I really wanted to find Doctors Without Borders EIN number, I could go find it. But there's something special about Doctors Without Borders and any organization really, so being so forthright with it, with clearly, generously sharing information that says, hey, we're legitimate. We are a 501c3 organization in good standing. Your support with us will be well used. Here's all the information that we think is relevant to you in a quick overview. And if you need more information, here's our privacy policy. Here's our commitment to our supporters. Here's our phone number. Give us a call. I love how transparent they are here. I love how they're adding just that extra element that's making me feel comfortable. Now, it's not technically social proof, and it's kind of borderline privacy, etc. But it's an element, it's a piece of information and a way of presenting it that most of our nonprofits could also do. It's easily achievable. This example comes from EDF, and it's also an example of social proof, just like the one from JCC Chicago. Their pop-up, when you get to their site, says, join more than 1.5 million people who get updates about environmental issues. 1.5 million. That's amazing. That's mind-blowing to me to have 1.5 million people on your email list. It's great. And if I'm someone that cares about environmental issues, I know that there are lots of organizations out there that I could support, many of them worthy. But if I come to this website and that's the first thing I see, I think to myself, wow, they must really be a leader in this field. I'm going to send up for email and see what everyone else is so excited about. Also, bonus for them, see this little text in the bottom right hand corner here says, read our privacy policy. That's fantastic. You don't have to list the whole privacy policy right there. You can just link to it, and just letting people know that you've gone through the effort of drafting a privacy policy and being upfront with it reassures them that you are going to take care of them and their information. And this final example is from Ronald McDonald House Charities. It's their pop-up, and their copy is pretty good. I like that they are talking about inspiring stories from families, because that is what I, as a supporter, relate to and care about. But they are also being very transparent and sharing privacy information. They're saying, by signing up, I agree to the privacy policy and terms and conditions. Now, it seems like a little jargony and a little legalese, but I, when I'm browsing sites, notice when an organization is so giving with the information and I appreciate it. A lot of organizations have privacy policies, and they just kind of bury them in the footer and no one ever mentions them. Some organizations, like this one, highlight the privacy policy and say, hey, by the way, we've got this in place. You can trust us. And so if your organization has a privacy policy, why not just link to it? Let people know that you've gone through that effort. You are a legitimate organization who cares about its supporters and will take care of their information. So that's it. We talked about awesome content, we talked about awesome style, and we talked about awesome reassurance. If you enjoyed this training and learned something from it and would love more resources just like it, come over to smartcausedigital.com. If you are watching on Smart Cause, all you have to do to get more resources just like this one is scroll down beneath this video and look for the email sign-up box. Join my email list. I will send you a helpful website resource every couple of weeks. And I hope that you got some fantastic ideas that you can take right away and start implementing on your site to make your call to action more awesome. Thank you.